Steve, sun's out, spring's here. Good buzz amongst the lads.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously today, it's been a lovely day for training. Um, so we haven't had many of them of late. So I think it's nice for them to be out there in their shorts and their t-shirts as opposed to having about 5 layers of clothing on and it being windy and rainy. So yeah, I'm sure up and down the country today it's been nice for teams to train.
And actually, I wanted to mention because I'm sure some supporters don't realise, you've got some fantastic training facilities here. The pitch is amazing, but the lads obviously, whilst the planning goes through, you've got your change rooms here, and they've been brilliant throughout the season in some windy, cold days.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say our changing facilities are the best at the moment, but that we know about that. That's a work in progress. That hopefully by the start of next season we'll have the proper ones here. We still haven't got our showers and everything, which is a little bit more difficult on some days. But the pitches and everything else are fine. They're more than fine. They're very, very good. So, we're very, very lucky that we have that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a step in the right direction, isn't it? And for the big future. I'm planning this week. I wanted to talk a bit about Ryan actually, because he scored again for you last week. Ryan Innes, he's a big part of what you've been doing this year. He's an important cog in the wheel.
Well, I thought last year anyway, Ryan, for his aerial ability, probably should score more goals, and I think a lot of that is getting the consistency of the taker right, because if you don't get the consistency of the taker, you're never quite sure where it's going to land anyway. So therefore, he could be making good runs and we never found him, or he could be making bad runs, but the delivery was good. So it's something that we had worked on, quite a fair bit with our set plays, and it's good that we go and get a couple of goals off of them. I think there's plenty more that we've got up our sleeve that I don't think that we've made advantage of or taken advantage of some of the game and the knowledge we have. I think what happens is sometimes when we get into a game, trying to give them all scenarios here. If we're playing a short corner and it's a 2v1 or it's a 2v2, how do we make it a 3v2 and all of that? So they have enough answers to potential problems, but until you're the one in the arena that's got to do it and you're put under pressure, sometimes it's easy just to put the ball in the box. But not that there's anything wrong with that, as long as the delivery's good and the runs are right. But yeah, I know it's been something that I've probably worked on with all of my teams really. I don't think that we've got enough out of the repertoire of set plays we have here during my time.
Yeah, and actually I'm thinking about all of your teams. Somebody or a couple with that physical presence quite important to you in the teams that you've moulded over the years.
The only thing I would say, I don't pick them because they're big. I don't do that. Otherwise, we just walk down the high street and go and get a couple of big lads, put them in the team. But they mightn't be any good. They might not be footballers for a start. So, the old adage of a good big un beats a good little un. If you get somebody of equal ability, and one of them's 6'2" and one of them's 5'6", the chances are the 6'2" are all if they're of equal ability. I'm talking here. So yeah, there's been some really, really good, smaller players over the years, but a good big un will always beat a good little un if they're of the same ability. You go and stand in the tunnel against Liverpool or someone like that, there's none of them under 6'2".
Absolutely, and you don't appreciate that until you go and stand next to them, do you?
No,
they're big lads.
They are, and that's why they get there. They're athletic. So yeah, all of them. You go and play against Liverpool. They might have a few smaller players, and before someone says it, Mo Salah's not 6'2". Well, I know that, but there'll be a good 8 of them. And some of them will be bigger than that. So it's not about them being bigger. It's about them being good athletes and a good size. It's what all the teams will look for higher up. If they come scouting at our place, what they'll want to know is, how big are they? Can they run? Because the chances are they might know about their footballing ability or their stats or whatever it is. So, to be able to step up, I think a good physicality helps you. Unless you're one of what I would call, a very small elite pod of players.
Let's look ahead to Fylde. They lost in midweek. It's a long way to go. So did you have somebody there for you at the week in the week?
Yeah.
What do you make of them? This, because obviously there's changes there, and a
they've had
manager now you know very well.
Yeah, they've had a lot of changes, and Dave's in charge now. I'm looking forward to seeing him at the weekend. You know, he's a great guy. Worked with me at Shrewsbury for a good couple of years, 2.5 years or so. Great guy, good coach, really loyal, honest, hardworking. He will not let them down in any shape or form. You know, he will work hard. He won't take any credit. He'll give the credit to everybody else. Just an out and out. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
And as with most jobs in football, you usually get the job when there's a job to be done. He has got a job to do, obviously, now, is to keep him at the bottom four.
He won't get any sympathy off of me with that, because, you know, invariably that's what's happened to me. So, you know, I think that, you know, he'll go there and he'll do a really good job. I'm sure about it. He's a great guy, and as I said, I'm looking forward to seeing him. But I think he's already done a good job there. You know, sometimes you have to look past the results a little bit. You know, when you go in somewhere, it's hard to change it all in one hit. You know, because there's a lot you have to change, and you know, he's gone in. He got a couple of great results to start. But that's not just, you know, that's not necessarily new manager bounce. So longer he keeps working and doing all the right things, which he will do without a shadow of a doubt, then the results will come for him. And just, I hope they don't come, you know, this week. But he'll know that anyway. I spoke to him earlier in the week before they played Sutton. He called me up, and he said to me, I thought I'd call you now, because after the Sutton game in the build-up, I knew you wouldn't answer the phone to me, which I would have done, but I might have been a little bit more guarded. But I love him. He's a great guy, and absolutely unbelievably hard worker, and very, very loyal.
And he'll know what you demand from your players, what you look for in your players, and you'll know likewise about it, what you want from his team.
He'll probably be ending up telling his players what I would tell normally my players. So I think there's a little bit of that probably gone on. But he's a great guy. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
What are their threats then? What have they got which you're going to have to watch out for?
Good team ethic. They seem to have had that, certainly since Dave's gone in. Obviously, I can't say before, and I don't mean that derogatory or derisory to any other manager that's been in there, but obviously I'll take more notice probably since Dave's gone in, and also I'll take more notice because in the last week or two I would have seen their games. So they've got a good team ethic. They've got a threat with Horton, who can do something out of nothing. So that is certainly one we need to keep an eye on. Mitchell in midfield has been all action for him, and he's done a very good job. And they've got a couple of lads at the back that have been steadying away for them. So, you know, Massey on the wing, you know, they've done all right. So this will be a tough game. For sure, this will be a tough game, I'll tell you. If we're not ready, any of the results can happen like they happened the other night.
And you're renewing your season ticket with the North of England again. This season's been incredible, hasn't it, those journeys?
Unbelievable. We're not, you know, the travelling has been incredible, really, this season. Incredible. And it doesn't finish with this, you know. So it is what it is.
I guess they're used to it now.
There's
no surprises.
Yeah, I think we're used to it now anyway. So yeah, we'll train tomorrow, finish our prep for the game, and then get ourselves up there tomorrow.